Hello everyone and welcome to another art lesson with me, Mr. Richardson. This activity is for my grade 1 students and you're going to be learning a little bit about the artist Paul Klee. Now Paul Klee was born in Switzerland in Europe and then he eventually went on to teach about art in Germany. Now his style of artwork, he had many different styles that evolved over time, such as Expressionism, Cubism and Surrealism, so kind of like a dreamlike state. Whereas Cubism is like where parts of the picture are broken up into, well, like cube-like pieces, so there's lots of sharp lines. So if you think about the way that cubes are with their sides in mathematical terms, I'm sure you'll get a bit of an idea. Now, Paul Klee also had a fantastic sense of humour, and that sense of humour was then reflected in his artworks, and he tended to put a lot of his childlike mannerisms in his artwork as well. Now the art piece that we're going to be looking at today is called Animal Tricks, and Paul Klee actually created this painting called Animal Tricks for his godchild Florina Irene. Now Florina Irene was the daughter of two musicians that Paul Klee was really good friends with. However, unfortunately, Florina Irene was quite unwell at the time. So Paul Klee decided that he would paint a picture of these animals doing tricks, like as if they were performing in a circus or even just like balancing acts. So he put these animals in the picture that appear as if they are in a circus, but the circus isn't there. There's no audience. It's not really even a ring there. But there appears to be a donkey that's leading the way and some other little creature that's riding on the donkey's back that's holding a whip. And then behind it is an insect of some sort with wings. It looks a bit like maybe a mosquito or a moth. And it seems like this winged creature is balancing, doing a balancing act on top of a dog that's following behind the donkey. So I'm sure you can use your imagination that these animals seem to be putting on a bit of a show for Florina Irene, just to try and cheer her up and help her become better and become more well. So this is what we are going to be focusing on when we're creating our art piece today, is that we are going to be making our own animal tricks, drawing and painting. Now don't worry if you haven't got paint. This activity requires whatever art materials you have got at home. It could be colored pencils, it could be textures, it could be watercolor paints, acrylics, fine liners, grey lead pencil. So long as you have something that you can create art with, it is open-ended, and whatever materials you want to use or whatever you have available, that's okay, so long as you include some animals in your art piece. Now, before we start, you need to have a think, what animals are you going to include in your imaginary circus? It could be some pets that you have. Is it a dog? Is it a cat? Is it a pet fish? Is it a bird? You might have a pet turtle. I remember I used to have a pet turtle at my old school that I used to work at. I had him for many, many years. It could be some animals that you have, stuffed animals that you have in your house, in your bedroom. It could be from a picture that you have hanging on the wall. I can see on the other side of my dining room here that there is a picture of a wolf. I can also see that there is an ornament of an armadillo. There are many different things that you could use as inspiration for your animal tricks picture. So have a bit of a think about what animals you're going to include in your picture. You might even want to go for a bit of an explore around your house and see what you can find as inspiration for your animal tricks picture. So grab those things. You'll need a piece of paper and whatever art materials, whatever art media you want to use for this activity, but a great start is to use a grey lead pencil. Grab your stuff and let's get started. Okay, so I've got my piece of paper here and my grey lead pencil, and I've turned my paper landscape, just like the picture that Paul Klee did, and that way I can fit more across the page. If you want to get a little bit more imaginative, you could think about, well, what could be in the top part if there's something down below. But for this activity, I am going to do it this way. Now I want to set where the ground is. So not right down the bottom of the piece of paper here. I just want to set it sort of a third of the way. So 1, 2, 3. And that way there's a bit of a space in the front and a bit of space here as well. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just lightly draw it. We're not looking for perfection with this activity. And then you think about, well, what animals am I going to have in my picture? So I'm thinking that I want a dog, I could have a bird perched on top.
Back there, looks like he's kind of flying.
The first two animals doing tricks. The bird's balancing on top of the dog's head. The bird's singing a song while the circus is on. And the dog's up on his legs and he's got his paws like that. Like he's kind of begging. Now I've got plenty of space here that I could add some other stuff. Talked about the armadillo ornament that's sitting on the ledge in my dining room. Armadillo comes from America. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of like he's got armor on. So, looks a bit like a croissant, really. It's kind of strange. Some insects. So I'm going to do these shells that ladybirds, I like ladybirds, they're good for the garden. And my pair of ladybirds are dancing on top of the armadillo. So some different tricks. I'm sure that you could think of lots of other things that you could add to your animal tricks picture. I could, for example, say that my dog is wearing a vest because he wants to look smart. And the bird could be wearing a top hat, because why not? Just to make them look like they're the part.
in the circus. So then, if you've got all of the creatures that you want for your animal tricks picture, you can then use whatever you want to colour in your picture. You might just want to shade it with some coloured pencils. You might want to then add some outlines with some texture or a fine liner. If you've got paints, you could have a go at painting those too, or if you've got chalk pastels or oil pastels. The choice is yours, but just remember that you must colour this picture in using whatever media you want. And it doesn't just have to be the one choice of media, you can use mixed media. Mixed media is when you are using many different types of media at once. So we've used our grey lead pencil, but what else are you going to use? Have a think about it. Remember, this picture is all about what you want to draw. What animals you want to have included in your animal tricks circus. So please use your imagination and come up with something really, really creative, something funny to show your animal tricks picture. So here is my finished animal tricks picture that I included with my dog, with a bird, and my dancing ladybirds, and my armadillo. I used watercolour paints on mine, plus some black fine liner to outline everything. Just give it a look, make those colours pop off the page, give it a bit better definition. But again, as I said, you can use whatever you like, whatever you've got available at home.
And here is my finished Paul Klee inspired animal tricks picture. So remember, your learning intention is that you want to create a picture inspired by Paul Klee's piece. So nothing exactly like his piece, or nothing exactly like my art piece here. It is up to you what you come up with. So spend a little bit of time thinking about what animals you would like to include that are doing tricks on your page. What is your inspiration? What tricks are they going to be doing in your imaginary circus? Are they going to be balancing? Are they going to be doing cartwheels? Are they going to be blindfolded like something's going to be tricked upon them? Are they dancing? Are they singing? What other talents could your animals be doing? Have a think about it. Remember, you can use whatever media you want to colour your picture, and I can't wait to see what results you have to create your animal tricks picture. But for now, I'll see you next time. Bye.